and see, I don't look at likes to be looking at. Oh man, this people likes. I look at likes like, okay, if I get 100 likes,
Yeah.
20 of those likes are going to be customers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't look at likes just to be like dying for likes. Likes for me is like money.
Analytics.
If I get 200 likes, that means 50 of those people are going to be customers.
Gotcha.
That's how I kind of weigh the scale.
Gotcha.
I get X, Y, Z amount of likes. That means X, Y, and Z of these people are going to be eventually customers.
Yeah.
To whether it's going to be selling beats,
yeah,
and whether it's going to be selling beats or selling sound kits.
Welcome to another episode of Platinum Lyrics and Beats. I'm your host, Treboey. I teach aspiring music producers how to create and sell dope beats online without the confusion and frustration of wondering where to start. On Platinum Lyrics and Beats, we look to get to assist you in getting started in your music production career, help you make some life-changing music and money. Listen, today I'm excited. We got a super producer in the studio, in the lab, in the building. He's not just a music producer, but he's a Grammy and Stella nominated producer. And another thing I'm excited about is he's a sound designer. Where would us producers be without sound designers, man? This is dope. All right, let me be the first to tell you his drum samples are fire, his drum loops, his drum kits are fire. We're going to talk about all that today. All right, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Marv4mobeats. Let's go, baby. What's up, Marv?
I'm good, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. How's life?
It's busy. It's busy like a mug.
Yeah. Man, I've been reaching out to Marv for a while, man, and he was busy for a while. I finally got to catch up with him. This interview is going to be dope. We're going to get into the insights of, his mind and how he gets down and everything he has to offer. What songs were you nominated for under the Stella and the Grammy awards?
So both of the artists were Christian artists. For the Grammy, it was for a group called Cross Movement. Man, it been some years, man. I can't even remember what album it was for. But I know the record label, the company was Cross Movement Records, and I'm not sure if it was a compilation or if it was. I can't remember. It's been some years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And for the Stella nominated was for artists that I work with now by the name of Bizzle.
Okay.
He got nominated for Stella back in, I want to say, 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
One of those years. So that particular album, I had produced most of the album, so I was able to get the nomination with him on that. Yeah, so
yeah, that's dope, man. That's not an easy task. First of all, you have a ton of producers out here. We would love to work with somebody who is pushing just as hard as us so we can get that opportunity, because I know when you're working with different artists, you're praying that they keep pushing the song, and putting everything behind it. You work with some artists and the music doesn't go anywhere, man. So
yeah. I do have a lot of artists that fall in that category.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And it'd be like some bangers that you might have sold to him. You'd be like, man, what is he doing with that?
Yeah,
I get that it's a part of the game.
Yeah, it is. You don't know what's going to hit. Yeah. Marv, when did you know? When did you find out? You was like, man, I'm good at this producer music game. I know I'm good at this. This is going to go somewhere. When was that moment? What was going on then?
Well, man, I started producing back in 2002. I'm naturally a drummer, so I've always played drums.
Yeah.
I was a DJ as well, after playing drums, I started DJing. Maybe I can remember starting like as it becoming not just a hobby, but actually a professional. Where it became a job for me.
Okay.
And when I was about the age of 17,
Oh wow.
I had a friend, I had a partner of mine that stayed next door. That was a DJ, and I always ran with older dudes, so they
Yeah.
took me they took me under their wings, and just kind of groomed me, into DJing,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so like I said, I was a drummer, and with the DJing. And let me say this too: like I come from a I come from a musical family. My dad was a record collector, as far as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always around records and around music. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I understood fundamentals at an early age. When I got into producing, I didn't even know that was a gift that I had until I went and bought a drum machine. Cause in 1999, I gave my life to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Born again Christian, so I stopped DJing for a while and stuff. I stopped DJing altogether,
Yeah.
but there's always still musically inclined. So there's some brothers at my church that were rappers and stuff, and then what had happened, two of the brothers were rappers, but they had another dude at the church that made beats. He had a Triton.
All right. Oh
He
yeah.
had
Yeah.
he had that 61 key
Yeah.
Triton, which was that was the go to
Oh yeah.
machine
Yeah.
in around 2000s. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And I was always be telling this dude, man, you need to get with them dudes, man, make some beats. But he just kept on making up all these excuses not to. So I remember going to a pawn shop one day and buying this. I seen this Yamaha. It was a rhythm programmer. It wasn't
Yeah.
even nothing really solid.
Yeah.
It was a Yamaha RY 22
Okay.
little drum machine.
Okay.
Just enough to kick, snare, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was too much for me to spend at the time because
Yeah.
I just recently had got married, had kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't making much money, so I had to put it on level. No, what happened? I kept on going in there,
Yeah.
and every time I would go in there, the price was at was at the same, stayed at the same until one day it went on sale.
Oh
Maybe
wow.
about 2-3 months later, that joint went on sale, and I just said, man, I got to buy it. I'm gonna miss the bill. I'm gonna miss one of these bills to get this joint. And, yep, yeah. My ex-wife was not happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But nevertheless, man, so I end up buying the drum machine. And when you first starting out with something, man, it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
trash. But man, for some reason, I just took a passion to it. And I think because was a big concern for me was getting these dudes some beats, because they had this little cassette tape
Yeah.
that they were playing their beats on. They were rapping to the tape so much to where the tape popped. They had to start doing acapella, you know what I'm saying? I just said, man, I'm getting sick of this, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
man, I just was passionate about learning it. And 2002 is when I said, man, you know what? All these different, what's the word I'm looking for? All these different aspects of music that I've, had over the years,
Yeah.
like it all makes sense in this box here.
Yeah.
So 2002 is when I realized that I could be a good beat maker. And then, over the years, you just start adding on different
Yeah.
pieces,
Yeah.
start learning the game, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Really start to, always, I've always was a student of music. So what I did, I became a student of music production,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
just to where I'm at now, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
2002 was when I realized that I did this would probably do something.
Who were you inspired by coming up, man, back in the day? Somebody was like, you was watching somebody. Yeah.
Man, I think as far far as I can remember, Just Blaze was always like I'm a
Yeah.
big inspiration to me.
Yeah.
Man, they used to have these scratch magazines. I don't know if you remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I still got my scratch magazine collection. I lost some in the flood of
Okay.
Hurricane Katrina. I'm originally from New Orleans,
Yeah.
so I lost some magazines in the flood. But them joints was like a producer Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I do remember like Just was a big influence on me. Uh, I liked it with Neptunes and it was doing, but Just at that time was just my main inspiration.
Just
And then
Blaze.
later on came Ninth. I started getting hip to Night Wonder.
Okay.
And then I started getting hip to Jay Dilla.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
That's why your drums are so tight. That's why your drums. Because I'm a drummer too, but I'm listening to your kits and I'm listening to your production. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But dude, your drums, nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, thank
nice.
you, man. Thank you. So those are those guys are some individuals that I looked up to. Later on, once I moved to Texas, and just start to just get more into to the production aspect.
Yeah.
Battle Cat.
Okay.
Became a major inspiration. So I get a lot of people asking me, man, if I do, because I do a lot of West Coast beats too, and they be like, man, what part of Cali in?
Yeah.
Man, I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas, brother. Yeah, I'm in a little small city, 30 miles, about an hour and some change away from Austin.
Yeah.
But Battle Cat became like a major inspiration to me.
Okay.
Which, so that's where I get that West Coast, vibe from.
Yeah. What DAW did you start off using, and what DAW are you using now, and why? Because I see you, when I see you online, you're using something unique. So
yes. Yeah. So when I first started out, of course, I started on hardware. I started off in the hardware game.
Okay.
I ended up getting a Yamaha. Man, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I started out with a Yamaha. I had a Roland SP202 sampler.
Okay.
I had the Korg Electride joint. I had a Boss 505.
Okay.
So I dabbled into the hardware for a good bit. When I first got into DAWs, I didn't get into DAWs until I got to Texas, which I started on Reasons 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a bootleg version too. Had that version where you don't go online and try to update or anything. You got to be offline with that joint.
Yeah, you go lose it.
Yeah. So I started off on Reasons. Eventually, once I started making money with the production, man, I went on and upgraded to Reason 4.
Okay.
Record. They had Reason 4, and then they had Record.
Okay.
They had Record. That was a part of the propeller head for a while, and then I went all the way. I went up to 5, 6, 7, 8, which I still have a version of 8.
Okay.
That I just keep around because there's some particular sounds that I like in Reason, so I'll just sample them and put it into my DAW there. Yeah. So I went from Reasons to Native Instruments, which when I went to I went to Cubase Native Instruments. By that time, I had got into the Mac platform.
Okay.
I was PC when I was using Reasons.
Okay.
And then I upgraded. I had a friend of mine bless me with an iMac, and it had Cubase on there. It had Native Instruments, complete 4 on there. So I got into the VSTs.
Okay.
And I stayed on Cubase for a while. Yeah. And then eventually I upgraded to Logic. and then
Gotcha.
I stayed on Logic,
Okay.
and PSTs for a while, but then right around, so I want to say maybe around 2013, 2012
Okay.
is when I was looking on YouTube, which just happened to be on YouTube, and y'all seen Bay, Most Def
Mm-hmm.
and Manny Fresh in the studio together.
Mm-hmm.
And Manny's from my hometown, so
Mm-hmm. Right.
I was real, he always a hometown fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a home, I always been a fan because you
Right.
from New Orleans.
Right.
But then Manny was making beats on an iPad, and when I seen him making beats on an iPad, like I just was at awe, because I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
how is it even doing that. And then I figured out. I remember pausing it and trying and start googling
Yeah.
what software he was using. He was using Beatmaker 2.
Wow.
And when I seen Manny Fresh using Beatmaker 2 on an iPad, I told my wife for my birthday, I said, "Babe, I want an iPad." And so what happened? I eventually got an iPad. She bought me an iPad for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I was still in between Logic and the iPad.
Yeah. Shout out to your wife for doing that, man. Shout out to your wife.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wifey always been behind me, man. She actually bought me all my drum machines. That's
Wow.
the truth.
Wow.
Yeah, she always been my backbone and support.
Yeah.
But man, so I was still back and forth between Logic and the iPad. But then I just made up my mind because, at that time people was just looking at the iPad as like something that you can just
Right.
start ideas on,
Yeah.
and then finish the idea in Logic or whatever. Not really making that, not really considering that as a professional piece. So I said what I was going to do. I was going to learn Beatmaker 3, the ins and outs.
Yeah.
And I've always been like that. Before I move on to a particular software, a particular machine, I always had to max it out. I always had to get to the place where, well, you know what? There's nothing really else I can do in this machine.
Yeah.
It's time for me to upgrade.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped making beats on my laptop, on my iMac at that time, and I focused in on making beats on my iPad. And what happened, that began to become my niche. And and I would say this, man, I didn't really, in the beginning, I didn't really have the courage to really, put it out there and make it like, this is the thing, because people be like, man, it's like when people first heard about Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
Nobody wouldn't take Fruity Loops seriously until Night Wonder won the Grammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
Then now it became FL Studios. It wasn't
Yeah.
Fruity Loops no more.
Yeah.
It was FL Studios after he won the Grammy with
Right.
it.
Right.
And so
That's a
I
good
was
point.
kind of almost in that. I was almost in that same kind of situation, to where people say, man, the iPad. And then, for a long time, people like, man, this is going to be a fad. It's going to be a fad. It's going to be a phase.
Yeah.
But I just stayed with it, man. And then what happened, once I started posting videos of me using the iPad,
Okay.
people would inquire, man, like, how you doing that? What you doing that on?
Yeah.
And then I started catching companies' eyes, like Machine Masters.
Yeah.
Well, I always used to buy their sample kits. So what I would do, and it was, and what I was doing, I was building my brand, because I just said, you know what, I'm gonna make the iPad thing a brand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make making music on iOS a brand. So what I did, I would buy kits from Machine Masters. I would buy like the Booney Mayfield joints, flip them,
Yeah.
show people me flipping them on the iPad,
Right.
tag Booney, tag Machine Masters,
Yeah.
and you know, I then, they will start liking it, and before you know it, they started reposting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Booney Mayfield started reposting the joints on his page. So what was happening, they putting it on their platform at the same time I'm building my platform.
Yeah.
So much so that it got to the point where Machine Masters reached out to me and asked me would I come and work for them.
That's a gem. That's a
Yeah.
gem.
Once I got to that place,
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah. I said, it's for sure on.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna work their platform to build my platform. I worked hard in their vineyard. If you go you go to Machine Masters YouTube page, right? I mean, you go to the YouTube channel, man. I got thousands of videos. I was doing the sample pack Saturdays. I was doing the mobile remakes where I would be remaking some of the biggest songs in hip hop on the iPad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then what happened, I just started building my own platform organically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the place where people they didn't look at the iPad, they didn't look at the iOS as just a sketch pad.
Yeah.
They started making it their dog, you know what I'm saying?
And you definitely caught my attention on it when I saw you, producing on it, and the dope joints you were producing on it. You definitely caught.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this cat doing, man? What is Marv over there doing? Yeah,
man. Yep. And and like the software that I use, I'm good friends with the owners,
okay,
the creators of the software.
Okay.
So I use Beatmaker 3, which has been I've been my dog for the last, I want to say almost 10 years now.
Okay.
About the last 10 years I've been using.
That's what you've been rocking with.
That's what I've been rocking with. I made all my sample packs, all my kits, everything I've created on the iPad.
Man, that's dope. That's dope. All right, check it out. If you want to learn how to produce beats, like you new to this, brand new to this, you want to learn how to produce beats from scratch and get paid from selling them online, I have a gift for you. You need to watch the Producer's Blueprint. It has everything you need to get started. I'll show you the equipment you need to start producing beats, how to create beats from scratch, and how to connect with your fans so you can start selling your beats online and make money from doing so. Watching the Blueprint will save you time, money, and frustration. Most importantly, it's less than 30 minutes and it's free. It's everything I wish I had when I started producing music, basically. Talking about your kits, how did you get into sound design, and explain to the audience, the aspiring music producers out there that's watching this who may not even know what sound design is. How did you get into it, and what is sound design?
Well, let me start off by saying sound design. And sound designing is just as simple as, you taking a note and adding effects to it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Adding your color to a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's so on this documentary called West Coast Theory. One of the producers on there was talking about sampling, and it was just talking about people stealing each other's sounds and stuff. But I think that was Jelly. Oh man, I forgot this producer. Anyway, The producer was saying, man, like once you start adding EQs to, let's just say for instance, the regular 808, 808 that comes from out of a TR-808.
Right.
Now, out of the factory 808, it has a certain texture.
Okay.
Once a producer started adding texture, adding saturation, adding all these different things to it, now what you did redesign that sound. So it's no longer, it's an 808, but it's a whole different type of 808.
Yeah.
That's what you call sound designing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just using that for example, because that was the example that the producer was making in that documentary. It's like, man, once you take a regular 808 and you start EQing and adding distortion to it,
Yeah.
Now you've recreated a different sound.
Gotcha.
So in a nutshell, that's what sound designing means.
Gotcha.
You know, you create either you're taking something and redesigning it
Right.
totally different, or
Right.
making something from scratch.
Yeah.
How I got into sound designing was over at Machine Masters. Me and AG, the owner uh, of the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've always, I was already, well, I was doing the Mobile Tuesday remakes, which doing those helped my ears a lot too,
Okay.
because what I was doing, I was making those, out like for instance, I recreated the "What We Do Is Wrong" by the joint Just Blaze did.
Okay.
So like I had to go in and add, just I'm recreating that whole space,
Yeah.
just how Just may have created it, but I was doing on an iPad. So
Yeah.
I was doing so many of those. AG was like it, and then I was reviewing a lot of sample kits too.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
review them and go through them, and then AG, we would happen to be talking on the phone. He was like, "Man, have you ever thought about making your own samples? I mean, making your own sample kit?"
Bing.
So I said, "Man, no, I never thought about that." So I remember I started out with this sample kit that was like these doing like these NOLA chant,
Yeah.
or New Orleans, like different like voice chants and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
that producers use, and that joker did not. I don't think it seen light of day. I didn't make not one penny. So that kind of just once we did that, and I thought I had something, we put it out. That joint didn't do jack. I said, this might not be my cup of tea. So,
Yeah.
so AG was like, man, he said, bro, why don't you try it again? Why don't you try to do one with just some drums and stuff?
Keep digging.
So I built the courage up to do Marvelous Breaks, which Marvelous Breaks started making some noise.
Yeah.
Because it was a drummer.
Right.
I'm a drummer, so I just had to, sit down and just come up with drum breaks.
Right. Right.
So Marvelous Breaks was my first one that I came out with, which was just a whole collection of, I think it might have been like 40 drum loops, drum loops of breaks.
Okay.
40 drum breaks in that pack. And then AG, he came back and said, man, why don't you add some drums and some sounds? So I said, okay, like this dude pushing it now, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he, but what it did, it started forcing me to, be creative in such a way. So I remember doing
Marvelous Break.
Huh?
He had the blueprint.
Yeah, man, he did. And so I came out with Marvelous Breaks 2, which I added in drums, and then I added an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came out with Marvelous Breaks 3.
Yeah.
Then before you know it, I came out with Marvelous Breaks 4.
Yeah.
And at that time, man, the game, at that time, the sample game was still it was fruitful, to say the least. You had, of course, you had the Kingsway, Frank Dukes and his crew.
Yeah.
Then you had Ill Minds, that was, that was making. They was like the two mainstream companies at that time. You had a few people coming in on with Drum Broker. They started coming in the mix.
Yeah.
And then a couple other companies started coming around, but it was still to the place where everybody was able to, like, cash out for real.
Yeah.
Like, once by the time Marvelous Breaks 3 and 4 came, which I think Marvelous Breaks 3 probably was my biggest kit.
Okay.
And like, man, the money was good, bro.
Yeah.
It was good. So that motivated me to stay in the game
You
too.
was like, I'm on to something. I'm on to something,
bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody was eating, man. And then I just kind of stayed with it. But then what happened? Maybe right around Marvelous Breaks 5, when I did that one, that's when you had companies like Sounds.com.
Okay.
They came in. they tried to recruit me. Actually, one of my homies that was actually doing the recruiting, trying to build up sound.
Yeah.
What he did, he started recruiting a lot of producers that were working with Machine Masters. So he was trying to he was trying to snatch all the producers up to come and be a part of that platform. I didn't do it because it just was too complex on how they wanted it. So I never fooled with it. But then once Sounds came around, Splice came around.
Splice
come around.
Yeah.
And once Splice and Sounds, they came out and hit the scene, bruh.
Yeah.
They shut the game down.
Yeah.
They shut the game down. Just like what happened when iTunes came in and came up with iTunes Music.
Yeah.
Well, now you can go and just stream the music like Spotify.
Right.
You can just come in and stream the music. Right. That's what Splice. That's what Splice and Sounds is to the sample kit game today. So after the whole Breaks collection, I went into the loops. I went into Marvelous Loops. I changed the name.
Yeah.
And I did, I was still doing good with those, man. By that time I had a following.
Yeah.
I had a following that would be like, just looking for the kit, you know what I'm saying? Right. That, people knew when I hit the scene, and then it was coming out on Machine Masters. Yeah. People were just taking to it. But it just started to decline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because them companies came in and just kind of changed the narrative. Yeah. Either you had to get on those platforms or you had to learn how to adapt within.
Yeah.
So me just wearing so many hats and stuff, man, I kind of just start slowing down.
Yeah.
Slowing down on, making kits and stuff. But that's how I got into the game, man. That's how I got into it. I know I kind of just went on.
Man.
I got it. Went on. I got into it. Shout out to my man AG, man. He helped AG and Billy Blast, the owners and co-owners of Machine Masters, gave me my whole break in the sample game.
Cool.
So
cool. As a music producer, we have so many different avenues, so many career options, opportunities, whatever you want to call it. What advice would you give a music producer that's looking to become a sound designer? All right, so I watch you post beats all the time, man, and I know what you're creating is some of the stuff that you created yourself. Like you can listen to the music, but what advice could you give a music producer who's saying, I specifically want to be a producer, but I want to be a sound designer?
Man, producers ask me this all the time. Man, how do I get myself out there? How do I get people to start buying my beats or buying my kits? And man, I tell the producer, all the producers that ask me that, I tell them the same thing. Man, you have to grind, bro. You have to hustle. And I've been doing this over 20 years, but I still grind like I just started, bro. I get it. I hustle like I'm starting. I keep a mindset. I have a mindset, which I'll be, Lord say, the same in the next few months. Next month or two. March, April, I'll be 46. So my mindset is different than the average young producer. I know I have to have a certain quota that I got to meet every month to take care of my business. You know what I'm saying? So going back to answering the question is, you got to have a goal. What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Whether it's trying to get people to buy your first beat, or to get somebody to keep buying beats, you have to grind. You have to work. I always ask producer, where can I go listen to your music at right now? And I want to say
Yeah. Yeah.
5 out of 5 tell me, well, man, I haven't started a SoundCloud yet, man. I haven't
Yeah.
did this. I haven't posted my first video.
Right.
Been trying to get a camera. Why you need a camera? I shoot all my videos on my iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have an iRig where I make my audio clear and stuff.
Right.
Like, what is the holdup? Like,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna buy your music if they don't even know you exist.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and that's not. And now when you're talking about getting into sound design, that's a whole nother type of that's a whole different type of element.
Right.
Work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're talking about creating a composition from almost start to finish.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got that mentality in making beats from start to finish, man, I remember when I first started out, man, I was telling somebody that just the other day, I said, man, when I first started out, man, I used to be able to crank out 10, 12 beats.
Yeah. Yeah.
A day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I first started out, you know what I'm saying? Now at this age, and me being me being much older, grandfather, youth minister at my church, I do all the online stuff for my church.
Right.
My play is full. If I can crank out 2.5 beats a day, I did good considering everything else I got going on.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then people would be like, man, how you make time to make beats and you got a job? And that's when I was working, man. I was working an 8-hour job. I'll be making beats in my uniform shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I have a goal that I got to meet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't put no music out, then people are not gonna buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't have the product,
yeah,
I ain't gonna be able to serve nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my encouraging words would be to the producer that's starting out just in the beat game. Start a beat page. Start a SoundCloud. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Get at least 5-10 beats up. Yeah. And then what you need to do, you need to start making beat videos. Don't worry about if the audio ain't all that good. You can work up to that. Maybe you got to stack your money up to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, there are certain ways you can get around that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you just got to start somewhere. You got to be able to. You got to put it out there for people to even want it. You know, I'm telling I'm teaching that to my son. Excuse me, to my baby boy now, because he's a rapper, producer.
Yeah.
He does it all, man. He's like a self-sustained artist. Like, he does it all.
Okay.
But for the life of me, I have to fight this dude about doing visual stuff. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to do visual stuff. Now he's finally getting into it. Yeah. Now I done worked him up to the place where we're gonna start doing some like real videos for his music and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be able to. There's certain parts of certain elements of the music business that has to be done in order for you to get to point A to point B.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it start off by having a hustle mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with the hustle mentality, what does that consist of?
Yeah.
I need to start making some beat videos. I need to start, showing my face. I need to start letting people see me make the beats and let them hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was telling my wife that my wife has been doing she's been ministering on her IG on every Monday and stuff, and she was like, man, babe, I don't want to be doing it if 1 or 2 people just gonna be coming in.
Yeah.
I said, baby, I told her, I said, baby, I said just a couple of weeks ago, I went to the very, very beginning of my Instagram page. To the very first beat, Trey.
Yeah.
Where I might have had 1 or 2 people, 1 or 2 likes.
Yeah.
And then just scroll up, and before you know it, it go to 10 likes. I think I might have stayed at 10 likes for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once you break that, you get up to 20 likes.
Yeah.
You get up to 30 likes. Then by the time I started using sample kits and I started trying to figure it out, oh, maybe if I use the sample from this producer, from the sound designer who created, maybe he may repost it because it's dope.
Right.
And he want to show he trying to make money to get people to buy his kits.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna be posting on this page.
Exactly.
That's a benefit to me for Booney to post on this page.
Right.
Now, he making money.
Right.
See what this dude doing on the iPad, one of my samples?
Right.
And you need to go buy my kit.
Right.
All the while, I'm being promoted on this platform. So what happened, I'm getting parts of Booney's. I'm getting part of his crowd.
Gems.
So I'm getting them numbers. And see, I don't look at likes to be looking at, oh man, this people likes. I look at likes like, okay, if I get 100 likes,
yeah,
20 of those likes are going to be customers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't look at likes just to be like dying for likes. Likes for me is like money.
Analytics.
If I get 200 likes, that means 50 of those people are going to be customers.
Got you.
You know, that's how I kind of weigh the scale.
Got you.
I get X, Y, Z amount of likes. That means X, Y, and Z of these people are going to be eventually customers.
Yeah.
To whether it's going to be selling beats,
yeah,
and whether it's going to be selling beats or selling sound kits.
Yeah.
So, and just again, you know, you got to go there. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that hustle mentality.
Yeah.
I told my son that. I was telling my son that. I said, Bub, I said, when you doing your rap vids, man, tag your favorite artist in it.
Yeah.
Who's to say that he might not be scrolling and see his name added in your video?
Right.
Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Social media is powerful, man. Very powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And man, and I started out, and I started this hustle. I started that mentality in the MySpace days.
Oh wow.
But that's MySpace days. I remember, man, MySpace and SoundClick, not SoundCloud.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had the SoundClick. I would post my beats on SoundClick.
Yeah.
Embed my beat page on the MySpace.
Yeah.
And have as soon as they open, the beats start playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They couldn't deny it. And I started gaining art, working with artists,
right,
mainstream artists too, in that way. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's all a part of the hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to have the music out there so people can hear. Yeah. And now you got to work. You got to work it, man. You put a seed in the ground. You cannot just put that seed in the ground and not put no water on it.
Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. That seed has to be planted. That thing has to be watered every day.
True.
And then sometimes you have to go back and till the dirt.
Yeah.
To put fresh dirt over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
3-4 months down the line.
Yeah.
3-4 months down the line. Then you're gonna start to see the little leaf. You're gonna see one leaf grow.
Yep.
That one little leaf after 3 months. And then before you know, you're gonna see another leaf.
Yeah. And
then before you know it, they're gonna be just sprouting out. So we got a doggone tree.
Yeah.
You just got it, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to work it. You know, I can these days I cannot post a video a whole week and then come back Friday and post a beat.
Yeah.
And numbers would be almost equivalent to me putting up beats every day.
The momentum is still there. Yeah.
The momentum's still there. But I don't take that for granted neither, because there got to be a reason. That's a reason maybe I haven't been able to get to the beats, because I'm mad busy with church.
Yeah.
Mad busy with family.
Right.
I got a wife and 7 kids. Well, all my kids are adults except my baby boy, which is 15.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I still got life going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I might not get a chance to post any beats for the whole week, but I don't take that losing my momentum for granted.
Yeah.
Still got to work it. That's just like me putting out this kit today. I'm working this kit like I ain't putting nothing out, man. I'm posting vid. I'm asking my homies. I'm sending the kits to my homies and saying, hey, bro, look, I need to make a beat with this joint so I can post this to get this thing going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing this 20 years, and I hustle like I just started.
Still grinding. Still grinding.
Still grinding. Because I got bills that going to still keep up. Mortgage is due by the 5th every month.
Yeah.
My mortgage ain't small.
So I know you have a lot of drum kits out now. The Marvelous drum jar loops. That's dope. I got that one. I copped that one. That's, man, second to none, man. That particular kit is dope, man. I'm loving that kit. I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I'm cheating with that one, man. I feel like I'm cheating. As a drummer,
that was the whole purpose.
Yeah. As a drummer, I still cook up my own, patterns, my own, from scratch. But the loops do come in handy. The loops do come in handy. I fully understand, producers using, the loops, because I use them. I love the loops.
Right.
Tell us the motivation behind Marvelous Drum Jar Loops, and do you have anything new coming out now?
The whole Jar Loop pack was, I didn't put out I haven't put out a drum kit. Well, I did Marvelous 2, Marvelous 3, but then people will continue asking me for drums and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just said, man, what is the quickest way to get some drums out for the people, you know what I'm saying? And then just for me too, you know what I'm saying? To be able to, just get that residual income in. Mm-hmm. I just said, well, I had some drum loops that I had just sitting around, and I just said, well, let me take these here and let me just make a kit out of them. Mm-hmm. And normally I would do one shots and stuff, but the one shots, it's tedious. It takes a long time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just said, if I go ahead and do these loops, I said it'll give the producer, a choice to either just let them breathe the way they're doing, or just chop the drums up. Because that's what I would do. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I buy a drum loop pack, I chop the drums up and just use them how I choose to use them. Right. So that was the whole idea behind the whole Jaloop kit. The name Jaloop just came from, if you look at the picture, it just got Jerome up there, you know what I'm saying? And I just said, man, what can I call this? I mean, why? What sense does it make to have this picture up here? Gotcha. And I just had that picture sitting on my iPad. Yeah. And because I do all my own little graphics and stuff for the kits. Okay. So I just said, let me just add his face in there and just call it the Jaloop kit. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nothing deep, you know what I'm saying? I just said, I got Jerome in here, so I just might as well call it Jaloop. Well, I'm definitely loving that kit, man. Definitely loving that kit. It, man, a lot of people been really liking that kit, to my surprise. Yeah. I didn't really, I didn't know how it was going to go, but a lot of people really been liking the joint. Yeah, and just to let everybody know that's watching, the Marv4mobeats, the link will be in the description, so you can check all of this out and all that he has to offer to us music producers. So what you got? You got anything new? Yeah, so I dropped the kit today, the Marvelous Loops Volume 8. Gotcha. I dropped that just today, man, and that's another kit that just kind of been in the making too. Mm-hmm. I guess the only regret that I have, I've been just waited too long to put it out because I'm grinding like I'm a newbie, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of did like a behind the scene a process video on my YouTube channel. Okay, just talking about it, man. So I kind of just had to come back in because it's been over a year since I put Marvelous 7 out. Okay, what happens? You have to start from scratch to build the momentum. Yeah. Versus if I'd have just did 7 and then swung around and did 8. Yeah. But I think, man, too, just because I know how the game is, I just wasn't really in no rush to do it, which probably was wasn't good or bad on my end. Well, it came it came right on time, man. I can tell you that. Yeah, it came right on time because I'm cooking up beats now. I haven't put anything out in a while. I got a lot of bullets in the vault, in the chamber, and I'm ready to start shooting, man. So you will hear Jer Loops. You will hear Marv4mobeats sample kits on Treboey music coming out. Hip hop
hip hop. I mean, hip hop and R&B, but mostly on hip hop.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for your support, bro.
Yeah.
So that's what I got going on right now, man. For those that are watching, if you need some inspiration, man, you can just hit the link, man, and go get them joints and get to creating.
Most definitely.
Yep.
Listen, Marv, thank you for sharing all your gems, man. All the information that you're giving to us music producers and aspiring music producers, the ones that's just getting started, wondering, man, so is this something I can do? Marv is a prime example, man. If you stand there and you grind, you find your avenue, you can do this, man. But you got to have a passion for it. You got to have a love for it for you to be able to do it as long as he's been doing it. All right? So tell the people where they can find you. And this is the part, the episode where we give platinum advice from for the music producers. So tell the people where they can find you. And hey, we'll go from there.
You can find me on all social medias. Well, all of the main ones: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Everything is at Marv4mobeats.
Gotcha.
Try to keep everything uniform. So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Marv4mobeats. And you will find a brother. Oh, and my website, Marv4mobeats.com.
Yeah, it'll be in the description. Yeah. All right. Drop that platinum advice, man. What platinum advice can you give to a aspiring music producer trying to get in the game now?
Yeah. So my advice to anybody that's, watching, man, just man, I'm a stickler on staying in your lane, because there is a lane for you. And when I say lane, you know what I'm saying, it boils down to giftings for me. Like, everybody has a God-given gift. You know what I'm saying? Like Trey, what you do is your gifting. What I do is my gifting. With the producer that may be looking at this, may be that gifting. What I try not to do, man, I try not to play anybody else's gift. You know what I'm saying? And with me not doing that, it has allowed me to be in a unique space. You know what I'm saying? I found my giftings. I make beats on the iPad. When people think about iPad production, my name or my partner Henny or my homeboy Jay Elliott, our names are equivalent to that.
Right.
And that's just a lane that I chose to stay in. And even with those guys, I don't try to get into their lanes. Everybody just play a lane. Yeah. And just collectively become a community. So that's my encouraging word. Play your lane because you have a lane. Yeah. When you're trying to jump in somebody else's lane and you ain't turn the signal on, what's gonna happen? You're gonna crash. So you just stay in your lane. You just keep going straight. And keep driving. Don't veer off and get off at the exit. No, you got to stay there because it's gonna take you longer to get to your destination. You know what I'm saying? So stay in your lane and work hard. You know what I'm saying? Put the music out so people can know what kind of car you're driving. Gotcha. Because you stay in your lane. Just know this: while you're in your lane, you got all these other cars on the other side of you that's driving maybe to the same destination. Right. So you got to stay in the race. You got to stay working. Right. When you're sleeping, that I always used to have, when I was younger, my mentality used to be, I'm gonna stay up all night because while they sleeping, I'm gonna be working. Yeah, gotcha. I'm a little too old to stay up all night long these days. Try to get my sleep. Try to go to bed. I leave my phone and everything in my studio. I don't even sleep with my phone. Yeah. Because I got the rest. But when I was younger, I had to grind. Yeah. And then for those that may be young starting out, just know that it's a grind. Yeah. And you get to your destination if you stay in the race and you stay in your lane. Gotcha. Couldn't have said it no better than that, man. Marv4mobeats.com. Y'all check them. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, brother.